So while you take a break,
I want to, yeah, let
why
me go
don't we
get
have
some.
Boken tell us about his startup?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I just need to use the bathroom very quick. Thank you so much.
So Bochen, please.
Okay, let me do a really quick write-up. Okay. So I just pitched to the previous Lilia and Paul, and they gave me lots of feedbacks on my full presentation, full pitch. I'm still in the process of modifying this. Can I starting with a quick 1-minute introduction about our business this time? Okay. So hi, very nice to meet you. My name is Bochen. So I'm the founder of Zytro. We are a digital mortgage brokerage. We help consumers to get their mortgage faster, easier, with a better rate. So getting a mortgage today is still very challenging for consumers. Normally, it takes about 45 to 6 days. And as usual, most consumers, they don't shop when they're buying a mortgage. So that ends up losing hundreds of dollars every month, every year. So we're trying to build a mortgage broker company from the ground up, all digitally. Our team is formed by fintech veterans, domain experts, and young data scientists. We started Zytro about 2 years ago and obtained all related financial license last month. We will start processing loans in October. And at the first stage, our primary customers are W2 employees. We're raising a 1 million saved recently and have 700K committed from one institution and 3 angel investors. I hope you like our journey and would like to discuss you more about our business. Thank you.
Well, that's wonderful. If you've already got investment, that means there is something in the business, but you have not yet launched, right? You're launching only in October.
Yeah. So right now we're in the testing stage. We're not able to close a loan. We're waiting for a credit union to give us a final compliance inspection. So we expect we can finish that within 3 to 4 weeks. So around middle October, we can process our loan.
Right. So are you going to be a white label solution for the credit union, or are you going to be your own brand and then you will have multiple credit unions behind you to offer them?
The second option, we're trying to be a broker because we think the broker model can utilize the capital resource more effectively and also can help consumers to get a much better and lower rate. We're trying to seek out for the white label solution. We used to work with a partner called Silicon City Mortgage. And yes, our product, we can work with much more lenders because normally a broker only work with about 10 lenders. The good part is we can help them to increase their productivity, but it's not really good for consumers because what we observe today, especially for at this moment, like the consumer, mortgage consumer, their age is getting younger. And most millennials, they don't like to interact with a person to get a mortgage. So if we sell our product to mortgage brokers, yes, they can improve their productivity. But for consumers, there's still pain. It cannot be solved. So we're thinking to use the broker model by ourselves and to provide benefits to consumers.
You have the license to do that.
Yeah. So we got we're holding a CFL license. It's a California Finance Lenders under the DBO.
Okay. Got it. So yeah, interesting space. But you said that you will do everything digitally. I did a refi about 2 years ago, and it was completely digital.
Yeah.
So what will be your differentiation?
Yeah.
Why should I come to you and not go to somebody else?
Yeah. So what we observed today, I assume you get your refinance from a bank or a big lender. Is that correct?
From a lender, yeah.
Yeah, from lender. So let me give you one example, like a Quicken Mortgage or Rocket Mortgage. They are a lender. The one thing is
I did it from Rocket only.
Oh, okay. So I will give you some insights about Rocket Mortgage. So Rocket Mortgage and Quicken Loans, they're considered like a parent company and subsidiary together. So Rocket Mortgage is a front end. So the Quicken Loan provide them the cash, the table funding for their business. And that's one thing. Another thing for the Rocket Mortgage is currently they hire more than 17,000 employees at Detroit. So from the customer onboarding and collecting documents, from processing to account manager, the whole process is still operates in the back end by human. The process right now takes about 45 to 60 days. So what we see is because we have so many humans in the back end working on this, so their margin is very low and their rate is not very competitive. Our internal VP of engineering, Igor, he did a personal examination with a Rocky Mortgage recently. So what we observed is, because we're lender, we're wholesale, our rate from lender is starting from 2 points or from the 2.1%. But what we got from the Quicken loan is about 4%. So the rate is not very ideal, especially for this kind of financial product, especially for mortgage, very long term, very low risk. If there's a, because we observed for $1 million loan, if there's a 0.5% difference, the consumers will overpay about 100,000 in interest expense.
Right.
Yeah. So we think from the operation, the closing time, and the rate perspective, we're more competitive than Rocky Mortgage.
Oh, so that is awesome. I think you have everything, all the stars aligned on your side.
Yeah, we're trying to close a loop with
lower rate, you can do it much faster, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I think those are the two things that bother people. And you will do just the initial mortgage, or you will also do refi?
Because we are a full service broker, but we're at the very early stage. We have to pick a decision to focus on the refi or to focus on the real estate market. And the two things right now happening is, one thing is we do have a relationship with the real estate agent, because initially this year for our plan is we establish a partnership with the Keller Williams Silicon City. So they roughly have 50 open house in Santa Clara County. So every client, they go to our open house, they can see our advertising, our brochures, and they can quickly have an affordability quote for this certain house. And for real estate agents, we do a geofencing for the open house. So they don't have to record their client's information to the list. We just give them the leads. Like, hey, there's a 50 person visit your house, and this is your contact information and their affordability. So that's one direction we're trying to go. But that is heavily impacted by the COVID-19, because right now there's no open house. The open house moved virtually. But so that's one thing. Another side, what we observe is the refinance market gets really hot, really, really hot.
It's really hot right now.
Yeah. So we observe lots of our, like, I graduated from Santa Clara University. So I talked to the university, my professor group, and I realized they're actively looking for refinancings. So we're trying to pivot our plan a little bit, like for this year and the upcoming 6 months, we're more focused on the refinance side. And our first group of the customers, the test users, are my professor and all our founding team, relatives and friends. And after that, we're doing a social media or data analysis customer acquisition approach. So right now, we're working with different data providers from Experian, from Adam, from UCS. So for every loan owner in Santa Clara County, we have roughly 1,500 data points on each individual. So based on those data points, we can analyze who are our potential refinance customers, because we know their existing rate and their existing balance. But the challenging right now for us is we have a list ready, but we need to convert to real customer. The industry average conversion rate is about 1%. So we think, and the average cost is about $800. So we're trying to make that more efficient using A/B testing, more preferred channel to reach out to customer, and make the customer acquisition cost to be 1/3, about $250. I'm trying to make the conversion to 3%, not 1%. Yeah.
See, I've gone through, so that is, I think your major challenge is the channel that you use, okay?
Yeah.
How to get to the customer, okay? So that is because, you know, I have gone both the routes, okay? I think about 7-8 years ago, you know, I did completely online, okay? I found a company that did online. There was a bank actually, you know, and the bank, I was account holder in that bank, and they came up and told me that I can offer you this, okay? And then I went through that entire refi process. So I didn't meet anybody, nothing, except for the people who come to verify your house, right? And to do the home valuation.
Yeah.
The second time onwards, but usually what I do, and I have seen what my friends do also, is they pick up the phone and talk to the person who had financed that home earlier, okay? Somebody that you know. So that's one way.
Yeah.
So I'm just telling you in terms of how do you reach out to people and make them aware of your service? So that was one. The second thing is through friends and families. Okay. So there is this lot of discussion, just like I told you just now that I did my refi 2 years ago over dinner meetings and so on, social mixing. We talk about this. Oh, I just got this refi done at 2.3,
Oh, that's great.
So where did you get it done? And that word of mouth is really critical in this business.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
the word of
great.
mouth is really critical. Okay.
Yeah.
See, this is where the credit unions have not been very successful because they are very slow to move. And they are much smaller. Okay, they don't have that marketing spend and so on. But right now, I think the world is changing, and the credit unions are also getting really aggressive. They were aggressive at one point in time. There were some Indian credit unions, they're run by Patels, which were very aggressive at one time. Okay, and so Patels really are all business people. If you know, most of the motels in the US are run by Patels. Patel is the last name, family name, Patel. So it's a very large community of people from India, who run these motels and who run credit unions. So they have a lot of credit unions that they run on their own, and inroad into that, can get you started like that. So, I see your problem right now is obviously, your go-to-market strategy. How do you reach the customers,
Yeah.
and obviously to make sure that your thing works, because I think if it reaches, and it's the question of trust that you are able to create, right?
Yeah.
Trust is very important in this business. Okay, why do I go to my agent? Because I trust her. Okay,
Yeah.
I call up Melu and I tell May, I want to do refi, what is the rate that you can give me? And she says, okay, I'll write this rate down for you. This is the best rate. And you can go and shop anywhere. You will not get a better rate than this. Okay. So, my relationship with her has always been like that. Okay.
Yeah.
So
No,
that trust is a factor that you have to create. I don't know, for a new startup to create that trust factor, so you want to do a strategy like Geico. Okay. You want to be the Geico of mortgage lending. You want to say, you know what is Geico's positioning, right? 15 minutes can save you 15% or more.
Yeah.
Exactly, that is what you want to do. You want to tell people, make that first call to me. Okay, and I'll show you how to bring your interest rate down by 0.5%.
Okay.
Period. Okay. I'll show you how to do that. And that's when people will call you and tell them that 0.5% translates into so much for a mortgage loan of 300,000, so much for a mortgage loan of 600,000. Since you're in California, the mortgage loan values are going to be much higher, right? Because
Yeah.
the home
It's
prices
about
are very high.
600K.
Yeah, so home prices are very high. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So that is, and see, when you go and raise your second round of funding, right?
Yeah.
That's what people are going to look at. What is your secret sauce in reaching and acquiring customers? Okay, how do you acquire your new customers? How do you reach them out? Okay, this is just like Airbnb, right? Why Airbnb was successful? Because they used Craigslist as their secret sauce of trying to develop, it's a platform, right? And
Yeah.
how they built up that whole system. So you want to find out,
Secret sauce.
various, and see that is, see, as an investor, you will show me the market size, you will show me all that. It's not interesting. What I'm interested finally will be the SOM, right? Okay, your target market, and how are you going to reach that target market? What is a go-to-market strategy for that? What, and have you achieved a product market fit, and how are you going to achieve that product market fit? Does it show any indication of reaching that product market fit? So, and obviously the team to execute, and then your product. But your story sounds very interesting. Your
Okay. Thank
story
you.
sounds very interesting. Okay, so and you just have to get to your initial customers.
Yeah, we're
I
trying
think
to.
moment you have early adoption and you show that you have been able to finance people properly. The other thing that you can do is there is a difference between um, real estate agents and Redfin, right?
Yeah.
You heard of Redfin, right? You should actually partner with Redfin kind of people, Redfin Zero
Yeah,
and so on.
we have that discussed with our board directors. We're targeting like the Redfin, also some companies like Credit Karma company, also
Okay.
like the SoFi. We see those maybe our potential partnerships, also
Correct.
maybe potential acquirers in the future. Yeah.
Correct. Because so you want to make a deal with Redfin that if I get an account through you, then I will split so much with you.
Yeah.
Want to make that deal. Okay. So it should be very interesting for them
Yeah.
to send their customers to you. Okay. And see, because they also work on the same strategy as you. Okay. The real estate cost of 6% is gone. You're just doing it for 1% over here on Redfin platform. Absolutely the same strategy. So that's where, the two of you will make a good story. Okay. So moment you are able to come out with the press release saying that, we are partnered with Redfin, to lower down the mortgage cost, and to bring this benefit of mortgage, not only to the first time home buyers, but also to refinance people, then you have a strong
Position.
way to go forward. Okay. The other thing that you want to look at is the millennial market. Okay. So, there are a lot of people trying to solve the millennial market right now. And millennial market is very simple. Okay. They do not have a long credit history.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And that is one of their challenges. So if you can find an instrument or way to fund the millennials, okay, that can be really interesting. And there are a lot of models that you can actually do. I don't want to feed you with any models at this time, but you should look at what business model I can have specifically for millennials. Okay, because see, they are digitally very active. Okay, so reaching them is very easy. So your channels like Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook
yeah.
will reach them straight away. Okay. If you're looking at people who are 45 up, it's hard to reach them through such channels, right?
Yeah.
The trust, references, all those things will matter. It's you can break that through agents only, the live real agents that they are working with, so that's, or through the banks and so on. So that is the other channel, and people who are 55 plus, they're very hard to crack for you. Okay.
Yeah.
Because they like the organic process more than the inorganic process. Okay.
Yeah. The more
So that's what I'm saying, a millennials kind of thing would be right for you. So
yeah. So thank you for all the feedbacks.
any questions you have? I'm here. But if you're doing what you're saying you will do, it's a big market, but at the same time you want to make sure that you have strong competitive differences, which will, because you always have this threat of somebody else coming up and trying to do the same thing as you do. Right?
Yeah.
See, that's why speed is very important for startups. Okay. If you are slow in getting there, you have a solution, just understand one thing, Boken. Just as you are thinking of this, there must be 100 other people thinking of the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So it is how fast you will execute, it's very important.
Yes.
And how you create and retain the differentiation throughout will be very important for you to succeed.
Yeah. For this part, we're trying to working with a patent lawyer to trying to help us to create a defensive strategy. And we're also looking for some licensing opportunities.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Okay. Thank you, all the feedback. There's lots of things to change after today.
June?
Yes.
Hey, June.
Hi, how are you?
Good, good. While you were talking to this two other people, Lilia and Singh, I just browsed through your website. Okay. So you have what we call as a very classic problem of growing from an early adoption into growth. Okay, so that is the problem that you have, and this is where I call it twilight zone. Okay, so because what worked earlier is not working in now. Okay, in your growth stage. So let me just no, that was what I was scheduled to talk on the product market fit, but that's not the subject today. So what happens is, how do you go from, what you are seeing as success right now is an early adoption success. Okay, and these are all early adopters, who are fascinated by what you offer and so on. Okay, when you hit the main market, their requirements are very different, and those are the ones that you need to find out. So you have to go through the second product market fit. Okay, because their behaviors are very different. These are the people who are driven by references. Okay, more than anything else. So while I found something very interesting, because you have very strong testimonials of people. We have very strong proof of people who have gone to different universities through your ACT and SAT exams, right? So that's a very great achievement, actually, to showcase and to try to get people into your system. But I have seen a lot of companies trying to do exactly the same thing. So where will you differentiate yourself? This is the 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 space that you are in right now it's a very high demand space. Okay, because the world is going virtual, so this has become so hot in demand right now. And edutech, investors are actually looking for good companies in edutech to be funded, in edtech to be funded. Okay, but what I could not see from your website is, why would I pick you over the 100 other people trying to do the same thing?
I think our second, the new version of website will be launched within this month, and that's the very old version. And majorly, like we started from the test prep. That's exactly what I mentioned before. But now we go to because of the students that we have been taking care of, we find out we have a different approach. Yeah, so that personalized solution is something like very different from any other people. You go there, you get what you want. But the thing is, we are so problem, like they don't know what they need, they don't know what they want, which is quite the biggest part in the education part.
So the counseling part of it, right? Is that what, or
No,
it is one-on-one coaching?
I'm trying to find a good words to express it, but so far I think I just didn't deliver the information clearly, I believe. For example, the students getting mistakes. For other places, they just explain the mistakes and then practice and explain, practice and explain. But we are able to categorize the different question types. So student making 10 mistakes, they might be 5 question types or only 1. So if it's only 1, they improve like fast. If it's 5, the little bit slower. So ignore the question itself, but figure out like what type of mistake, and that will trace back to what is the foundation part that they have a blank space, and then we give the specific support. So the personalized approach is the most different, most unique part that we differentiate from any other competitors. But I do see, I thought a lot. I do see like our education services raised some uncomfortable feeling from the parents who are looking for education equality. They feel like we are trying to increase the education inequity. So people would like to pay, they get a better support, they get a higher score. People don't have money to pay, they have a lower. So that's part of the things that we got from many parents is from our free seminars. So to balance that, we are offering free Q&A. But again, if you want to join the system, join the solutions, you have to pay. This is something we're quite different from Khan Academy, which they're doing like nonprofits, totally for free, live on all the donations, but we are quite different. So that's also the part that I'm getting the challenges, especially when the investors taking the position of for the all equity part. Yeah. So this is something that I do concede myself. Like I feel like right now, this is also the question I would try to discuss. I feel like right now when they do education, the first thing they want to do is for free. The second thing they want to do is for equity. So that's the two main theme right now. That make the people who are in charge for the education, they make them super uncomfortable because it sounds like they are not for the well-being of the world, but which is not true. So
Yeah.
I kind of like don't know how to answer the question like that. I now have been facing the challenge like that from the our clients as well, who enjoy our free services all the time, but whenever it comes to they want more, but they start questioning us like why you don't give out for free, which is yeah, it's
So
just
what is your target segment right now? How big is that? Because it's what you're describing to me is a question of a particular segment's aspirations, right? Okay, so that is what. So are you into an affluent segment? Are you into a middle class segment, or are you into a lower class segment? Because all of them require extra tutoring. Okay, but the poor people require tutoring because they don't have anybody at home to help them, right? The affluent people require tutoring because they are probably the parents are so busy they don't have the time, and the kid has been over pampered, and not truly into education, okay, where he requires extra tutoring. So you have to find out where you are and try to position for that segment differently. Okay, each of this that is this is all prima facie, and that I'm telling you after just looking at your website. I have not gone heard the entire discussion that you had with Paul and Lillian, but these are the basics, right, for any startup to look at. But what would happen, again, from an investor perspective, when you say I'm going to do one-on-one coaching? It takes me back, right? Because it's a question of scalability now. How well are you going to be able to scale? Well are you going to be able to onboard and recruit some of these tutors that you have, or counselors that you have across the world? So that raises a certain scalability issue from an investor perspective, and you better have good answers for that.
yes. By answer the question, actually, we started from those privileged people. We have small group class one-on-one, but with the system, and we are able to increase the capacity from the 10 students per class to 100 students per class currently. And we are using the Bob to replace the human labor to answer the questions for free, and that's we can make the price getting lower and reach out to more students. My goal is within the 3 years, one teacher can teach at least 5,000 students at the same time, being assisted by the Bob answer all the questions. So that's how we lower the price and increase the good teachers value. This is also part of the things. And um, yeah, so the business model side, we're offering a free QA, and we collect a lot of students, communities, and they all like would like to answer questions, but now we still do manually. But if we can use Bob to answer all the questions, that basically we can offer all the part to massive students for free. If you like to pay more, of course you can pay more, but we just do basics like a very cheap subscription fee. You pay a little bit subscription fee, and you just can ask a Q&A questions all your month for monthly subscription fee. Yeah. So I think our business nature is kind of like anti-human nature. It's like a gym. If you
Mhm.
want yeah, nobody wants to study every day. So this is anti-human nature's business. But we all want to make sure to motivate them to do better. So that business model right now is just like this. And to scale, I think we just using the AI system to support to make sure our the foundation part of the student pool is like larger and larger, and that will cause the product line to be benefit from the foundation part.
Correct, correct. So there are multiple ways to handle that, and we have to dive deeper to understand what might be right for you. But you can always have a strategy like Toyota and Lexus, right? So you have a separate brand, Lexus, created for the people who can afford that service and quality, and you have the Toyota brand for people, who are the masses, right? So you can always do that. You can always create two different brands. It can be one company, but distinctly two different brands, which can cater to two different segments. That's why I was very keen on asking you, how does taking a one-on-one differentiate from this? Is it a segmental differentiation? What kind of differentiation it is? So if it is affluent versus non-affluent people, you can absolutely create two brands and to service quality and brand that premium as a completely, this instead of 7 EDU, you call it something else, right? Okay. Or you make 7 EDU as your company, if it is, and then have two brands very clearly. In fact, three brands, I would say. One is the educational brand, one is your one-on-one brand, and the third is the test brand, which is where you have the SAT, ACT, and all that. Because you don't want to mix the test coaching with education. See, coaching and education, training and education are two completely different things, right? So you don't want to test preparation to mix with the education, because mentally, a lot of people think that, I don't want to make, I don't want this robotic system of test preparation. I want my kid to learn, okay, not just from an exam point of view, from understanding the subject matter. So
Thank you so much. I
we
think
are
that
at the top of the hour, Pawan. So you have any other questions you can ask me, but I will have to jump off at 12.
yeah, that's a great hit suggestion. I think that can make the each brand people like more focused, and also yeah, I got what you mean. Thank you so much.
Okay. All right, Pawan. Anybody else? No, just the two of them. Ocean, you're doing good
Yes.
job. You can, and you'll do very well. I'm very sure about that.
Thanks. Yeah, we're just getting started. We're
And
trying.
education, I think, she has absolutely, the world open in front of her, because you are at such a good timing. Your timing is so good right now. Okay, you have to step on the gas. Okay, means you have to work literally 23 hours every day. Because you can't miss this moment, right? Come next year, 2021, second quarter, things will change. And by that time, you should have put your stake in the ground.
Yes, for all of us.
All right. Okay, David, Pawan.
Okay. Thank you, Sudhir. Really appreciate it.
Okay. All right, man. Bye.